together for this one major
All right,
case.
and let's go. Hey everyone, it's Boss Rush episode 19. I'm Jet from inthirdperson.com. I'm just chilling here with my trophy, the
Larry O.B.
The Larry O.B. Also known, if you were on Chris's stream yesterday, twitch.tv/xdoublejump, we've officially crowned it the Triforce of Basketball.
Yes. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's accurate.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, with me from left to right on your screen is John at Hafaya.
Yellow.
Chris from Double Jump.
Yep.
The current reigning champion of Boss Rush, Rachel from Double Jump. She's got the belt over the top of her head.
Hello.
And because we're not playing a game today, she is going to continue her reign of terror until at least the next episode.
Yeah.
Randy says, weird, Jet's camera is frozen. No, I am just standing perfectly still while holding this trophy. Carrying on, Jason from downstab.com.
Hello.
And Matt from Biff Bam Pop. So yeah,
hello.
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Let me go and put down this trophy. All right, we good?
Wow.
Cool.
There he is.
Yes. So
he's back. Excellent.
What do you mean back? I've been here the whole time. I just put the trophy on the floor.
Sorry, Ray.
Snorlax is holding it now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so how you guys been? Let's start with you, John.
Been well. The holidays have been good. Lots of family and food and excitement and little feet and children running around, and it's been busy and rewarding, I guess you could say.
Yeah, so John, how are your kids doing?
I don't have any that I know of.
Wait, so which little feet
that I know of
are your little feet?
No, you got to make Christmas special, so we just borrowed a few and let them hang out around the house for a while.
Okay.
Well known fact, John actually has size 1 feet.
Yes.
Yeah, very tiny.
Like, you know those little doll hand things? That's what my feet look like. Yeah.
He constantly walks on Bambi legs, like he has no balance.
Yeah. Oh, wobbly legs. Yeah, no, we had our friend Will had brought his kids over, and our buddy Eric brought his kids over, and we had everybody here for a couple days, so it was good though.
That's fantastic. Chris and Rachel.
Matt was.
Oh, what about Matt?
I don't know. What was I looking for, Matt?
There's a lot of kids.
Remember, you're on syndicated television right now.
He was judging you from across the screen here.
Yeah, I felt warm coming from this side of my face over here. Like...
No, that's awesome.
Cool. Chris.
Yes, thank you, Jet.
How was your holidays?
Ours were good. Yeah, they were good. Neither one of us were home for it, so we were both dog sitting at different houses. So it was kind of a weird Christmas for us, but overall it was good. Yeah, but it was good, and trying to get back into routine now.
Yes, it's a little difficult.
Yeah.
Overall, nothing bad. It was all good.
Cool.
Yeah.
So I know I said thank you like a billion trillion times, but since like we're like face to face here, thank you for all the stuff. I still have the Ninja Turtles art here.
I love that.
Yeah,
it's cool.
It's so cool looking.
Yeah.
I did it myself.
Nice.
Wow.
I would have believed you. You are an amazing artist, Chris.
Thank you. You're lying, but thank you.
I'm not. Jason, how about you? How was Christmas in California?
Yeah, Chris was over here. It was good. Same story, kind of busy, lots of family, lots of fun stuff. We were here, so we had a lot of good times with our friends. We actually just got back from Las Vegas. We were on a mini vacation in Las Vegas.
What were you doing in Vegas?
We were at the Consumer Electronics Show. We've gone a couple of years.
Tell us about it.
Yeah. If you followed me on Instagram, you would have saw the Guinness World Records for the world's tallest arcade machine. I got to play that. They had it at the arcade 1-up section. So they were demoing the new NBA Jam cabinets. They had the new Burger Time cabinets, pinball. So among other things, like gaming related, that's probably what it was. And we also saw a lot of new tech at Razer's booth for
nice.
PC.
I'm so conflicted with Arcade 1-Up because I had such a bad experience with that Street Fighter machine. But then they put out a Ninja Turtles machine, and now they're putting out an NBA Jam machine. Like, I absolutely would want those. But like, I don't know.
I don't know if you saw, but the Jam is 4 players, and it has Jam Tournament Edition and Hang Time. They're all in the same cap.
And it's got online
Hang Time
play.
is like my favorite one.
Yeah, Hang Time's so good.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
that's nuts.
So it's there. It should be coming out soon, and it was fun. And they had that really, really tall one, so it was kind of fun. Had to literally get on my like tippy toes to play it. Kind of fun. It was cool. Other than that, I mean, just kind of relaxing, getting back in the swing of things, like Chris and Rachel said.
Yeah. All right, and you, Matt, what's going on?
Not too much, man. Things are good. Holidays are good. Yeah, I've had actually more time to play games lately, which has been great.
Wow. What's that like?
So it's crazy because I never do. Yeah, I beat a couple of games that I wanted to beat, and yeah, it's been a good holiday, and back to work. Sucks, but other than that, it's good.
Cool.
Also, Jet, thank you for these.
No problem.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you for supporting Extra
Thank you.
Life.
Yeah, mine too.
Everyone got the cards. Oh, and the Tetris art. Nice.
Yep.
Yep. Did you happen to get my Christmas card, Jet?
Yes. Thank you.
Okay, good. Making sure.
I didn't reach out to you. Oh man, I'm so sorry about that.
No, it's because I said you got mine
stream.
after we talked, and I just don't worry, it's fine.
But yeah, thank you, John. Oh, it was Steph and I's anniversary this weekend. We've been together for 12 years now. And
Nice.
part of our celebration was we went to a spa and we got Swedish massages, which is great. Now picture this, all right? So have you guys
Wait, hold on. Do I want to? Is this
Okay, well,
yeah.
How far are we going here, Jet?
Yeah, we said PG.
okay, so I'm just gonna tell the story. You guys can cover your ears if you want. So
gosh.
imagine this is the that's spoilers. Imagine Leonardo is the room, right? And there's a door here, and there's one bed here, and one bed here. I was assigned to the bed by the door, and so the way the procedure works is you the masseuses leave the room, you strip down to like your underpants, and then you go under the blankets, right? So they leave the room, and I start to take off my clothes, and the masseuse is like, "Are you guys ready?" And I'm still trying to undress, and I said no, and she said okay, and barged in. And I'm there like in a pretty state of undress, and I kind of flipped out, and that was kind of embarrassing.
That's okay, buddy.
Aw. It's okay, Jet.
She got quite the show, but it would be better after a couple of months of Ring Fit Adventure, which hopefully.
Hey.
Whoa.
Oh man, that transition though. And I wasn't ready to hit the B-roll. So yes, Ring Fit Adventure. I know, Rachel, you got this for Christmas. And
I did. Still haven't opened it yet.
Okay, no worries. And Jason, I believe you've played this as well, right?
I got it for Christmas too. Yeah, I played it once for an hour, and it was pretty tough.
What difficulty did you set it at to start?
So I think there's 4, and like the top one is like intense or something. I did whatever was right below that.
Okay.
Because it recommended like, oh, I think it's for like people that already kind of work out, which I do. So I was like, this is pretty good. And then like the first level or two were pretty great, but then I did the boss fight against Drago, whatever his name is. Dude, I was sweating, and like when it was done, I had to like leave the room, get water, go outside to cool off. It was pretty intense.
Those Drago levels do not mess around. It's just like the most intense running, and then it's like 20 minutes straight of exercise.
Lunges. Yeah. And it's funny. But anyways, say what you got to say about the game.
So Ring Fit Adventure, when they first revealed it a couple of months ago, like it was just a teaser of people like waggling around with the ring, and I thought, oh, this is gonna be like another dumb mini game thing. And then they revealed Ring Fit Adventure and showed that not only is it just an exercise thing, like it's a full-on video game. And I thought, oh, this could be interesting. I like video games, and this looks like enough of a video game versus say Wii Fit, where that was mostly just like digital tutorials for exercises, and after you did them once or twice, it was pretty boring. But tying this into like an actual video game with like worlds and enemies to fight, and you get XP along the way, it's so smart, and it's such a like interesting psychological trick to get you to exercise. And even just little things of like, here are stairs, you need to run up the stairs, and of course I'm running as hard as I can because I'm going upstairs, and that's what you do. And like it's just such an effective trick to get me to exercise. And I've played a couple of sessions. I streamed it once, and I've just been really impressed with one. It's a pretty good workout, and two, the game's pretty fun. I don't know if I would enjoy it if it was like just an RPG by itself, but like the combination of the exercise and the actual like playing of the game is really neat. And I've been most impressed by the variety in the world. Like every single level has something a little different to make it feel like a different thing, or they add this new wrinkle, new exercise. And so far, it's felt like a kind of unique thing every way each time I've played it. So I enjoy that a lot.
Yeah, it looks interesting. It looks like you could get addicted to it, I want to say.
Yeah, that was the thing I was most impressed by. Is like, oh, this is actually a pretty fun game, and I'm pushing myself to play more, not because like I need to exercise, but because I like the game and I want to see more of it.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
Well, that's good to hear then.
Mm-hmm.
The burning question though is, can you reskin your character as the Wii Fit trainer?
I don't know. I
Not
wouldn't be
yet, at
surprised
least.
if that was like a late game thing. Maybe Randy can confirm. By the way, he says in the chat, you're on the bed closest to the door in case someone attacks, right?
Yeah, because everybody knows that if anybody breaks in, the person closest to the door gets attacked first.
Yeah.
That's how it
Yeah.
goes.
Yep.
That's movie rule 101.
Yeah.
It's so much running.
Yes, it is.
I feel like from what I played to answer two questions. So I think after playing it, I did feel like I wanted to play again. Like even though it was tough, I was like, I kind of want to keep doing this.
Mhm.
But the running, it almost kind of like it keeps you in motion, like to keep going. So you kind of don't even realize you're doing it as you're going, because then you're just going to the next thing.
Mhm.
It's actually really smart, because I felt like with the other one, Wii Fit, like you would do your poses, then you kind of be done. You'd be like, okay, whatever. Like I'm here doing nothing. But this one kind of takes away that downtime. So it's good. And I think my general consensus for the game was I thought it was going to be like this video game with kind of workouts mixed in. But I would kind of say it's the other way around, where I feel like this is really a workout. And then there's a game thing around that.
Mm.
So I would take it that way.
Yeah.
At least from the like hour and a half I played so far.
Is there a level for like guys that are cutting back to like one bag of chips a day?
Maybe.
Yes, there. I mean, it's maybe not called like difficulty setting 1, whatever that is.
Yeah.
Difficulty setting amateur golfer. Okay, I'm in.
Yeah.
all the enemies in the game are just like, just let them go. Just let them pass. It doesn't matter.
They're like normal things that are my enemies, like asparagus, things like that.
Yes.
Jump at it.
John just throws the ring on the floor and all the enemies fall over.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tried to bake a cake in my ring.
Just tries to eat the ring. Like,
Yeah.
Well, I've heard it's made of onions.
Mm.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, the onion ring.
I'm here all day.
It's only been like 5 minutes.
It's terrible.
You need to do a supercut of all of these terrible puns.
Puns are glorious.
Mm. Yeah, Chris, you've been killing it with the puns of late on Twitter.
Good.
All right, moving on. I've also been playing a game called Pokemon. So I don't know if you guys heard. This is like the worst video game of all time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Rachel,
Definitely.
someone else screenshot.
Yeah.
Like,
So
that's not you.
no, it's not. It's not always gonna be me. I actually no. Yes, it is me.
Yep.
Looking good.
Yeah, I got a lot
You look
prettier.
good.
Thank you. So yeah, Pokemon Sword and Shield is the latest Pokemon game, and one that got a weirdly large amount of controversy for the executive decision to cut a lot of Pokemon out of it. Up until we heard about the DLC, what were your thoughts on Game Freak cutting Pokemon from the game?
Totally fine.
Yeah.
I didn't really
Bother.
mind
Okay.
because they've been
Yeah.
doing that with all the other previous games. Not all the Pokemon are there.
Mm.
I think the big thing was that there's no national deck, so there's no hope of getting certain Pokemon. But overall, I didn't
Yeah.
mind. There are some Pokemon I missed, but it is what it is. I
Yeah.
still enjoy the game.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
kind of how
I totally agree.
that's kind of how I felt about it too, where I was never going to catch every Pokemon anyway, and
We did.
I know you guys. Yeah, excuse weird flex, but okay.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't play those. I know I'm like a super casual Pokemon player, but like catching them all was not really the way I enjoyed those games. I caught a few Pokemon, I fought some stuff, got to the end of the story, and I was
Yep.
good. And
Same.
for that purpose, I thought that Pokemon Sword and Shield was really good, and I had a lot of fun with it. It's maybe maybe a little too straightforward for me in terms of its story. I think in particular where it does try and take a turn, it gets really weird in a not good way. But otherwise, like just the experience of like running around and catching Pokemon in like the wild area, in particular the wild area. The wild area is so great, and I hope they incorporate that more into future games. I know the DLC has like new wild areas as well, which should be a lot of fun.
And that sweet BMX bike that.
Sorry.
I said I remember your video of you running into Snorlax.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I was so heartbroken when I couldn't catch him because I was not strong enough of a trainer, which is a new thing in this as well, right? Like before, it was just you could catch whatever, but now that they've made it open, they've gated it in other ways, and that took me a little bit to adjust. Like as soon as I got into the wild area, I immediately ran into a Pokemon I had no chance of catching, and just Onyx just destroyed me, and I was like, wait, what? And yeah, it took me a bit to realize that what was actually happening.
I kind of liked it though. I didn't mind it the way they did it.
Yeah, once I understood that, then I was totally okay.
Seems like a nice addition to change up the gameplay.
Chris and Rachel, what was your experience like collecting the entire Pokedex?
It was glorious because I have tried to complete my Pokedex in every single Pokemon game, and I've never been able to do it because of certain legendaries or certain events, and then a new game would come out and I would forget the old game and play the new game. And because there was only 400 Pokemon and Chrissy and I were playing beside each other, it was like a lot easier, and I just did it within a week and it was great.
Nice.
How do you guys feel about the DLC and them bringing back like 200 Pokemon, like old ones?
I was so excited for the DLC. I missed like the third tier games. Like I did not like the people ones in Black and White and Sun and Moon. So I think the DLC is a perfect like combination of them. It's a little less money, brand new areas to explore. I'm more excited for it.
Definitely a win-win.
All right.
And they're bringing back Pokemon. That's the idea for the expansion?
Well, yeah, since it's a new wild area, I think they like, instead of using the same old Pokemon that are in the original wild area, they like get some more Pokemon.
But in that sense, you don't necessarily have to play it then in order to like to buy the expansion. You could just trade for them then, could you not?
I'm pretty sure you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, right. I think you trade for them.
I think the update like already happened on the games.
Yeah. So. Okay. No, fair enough.
Yeah, so you can trade for them or like send them to Pokemon Home and then send them back to Sword and Shield.
Excellent.
Yeah. So, Pokemon, thumbs up from us.
Yes.
All right, let's go to Chris and Rachel. What are you playing?
Oh.
Go ahead.
Right now we're almost done with Lady Layton.
Ooh.
The version on the Switch. It's okay.
Just okay.
It's good. We're enjoying our time with it. We're almost done with it. We have what, two more cases left,
Right.
I think.
I feel like we're kind of snarky though with it at this point.
Probably.
We like the characters, but the cases themselves, we're more used to like Ace Attorney, like murder cases and everything.
They're very easy. And like Professor Layton, like we would get stumped on those puzzles, and it was the cases were, it was one long case throughout the whole game. This one, it's 12 individual cases, and we still haven't figured out the overall arc
If there
of
is
the
one,
game, if there is one.
there better be one.
And the puzzle, we've just been breezing right through them. There's only been a handful that we've really gotten stuck on, but for the most part, it's fun, but it's too easy.
That's unfortunate.
I absolutely love Professor Layton series. It is by far one of my favorite series of like all time. But I have not played this game because I know it's a little bit different. But yes, so excited.
Yeah, this actually. When did this come out on the Switch?
Last year, I think, late last year.
Something like that.
Oh, okay. So it's been a minute. I almost bought this for Randy for Christmas, and good thing I didn't because he already has it. I ended up getting him a Sega Genesis Mini instead, which I think that's cool.
Nice. Can't go wrong.
Yeah.
Probably a better pick.
I have not played a Professor Layton game before because this is easier.
Oh my god, Chad!
They're so good.
I'm really bad at solving puzzles, guys. Like really, really bad.
Well, then these are a great series because it really like leads you into it. So you should do it.
Yes.
Yeah, they're fabulous games.
Have you played the Ace Attorney games on your own, Jet? Like, there's a Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright game.
I have not played
we
that
played that to introduce ourselves to Professor Layton, and it was fantastic.
Oh, that was your first Layton. Gotcha. That's not even a good Layton, but you played it, yeah.
Well, we didn't know how we would feel about the Layton game, so we were like, oh, crossover. We love Phoenix Wright, so let's see how we'll feel about Layton together.
You also got me onto Phoenix Wright as well, so
there you go. They're all good series.
Yeah.
So, fun fact about my gaming career: one of the Professor Layton games, it's the third one. It's one of my favorite games, and it's one of the few games that when it ended, I actually cried.
Oh,
I was so sad. I was like, "Oh, this is such a great story."
That means we'll probably cry when that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We cry at a lot of games.
Yeah.
It was great. It was so touching.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Anyways, that's all you get from me.
Chris and Rachel, what was the last game to make you cry?
What?
What was the last game to make you cry?
Chris.
Oh, Chris? Yeah.
That's one that Grease. Sorry. That's one that I can remember at the top of my head right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the last game I cried at, but
because that was a year ago now that we played it.
Really?
It's been a year since we played it.
Wow.
So there probably was another game in between then. I just can't remember it right now.
Yeah. I feel like the last game that I can remember that comes to mind first is probably the first season of Walking Dead Telltale series.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah. We've talked
and
about
I knew
that
it was
before.
still coming, but I'm like, oh man.
And apologies for everyone watching. The frame rate's been a little consistent. I've been dropping some frames here, and I realized there was a setting I was supposed to turn on that I have not. And so now it's dropping frames here and there, and I can't do anything about it unless we restart the stream. And we're not going to do that. So we're just going to push ahead. It's not too bad, I don't think.
Too far.
Yeah.
We're good.
We're good.
It's fine.
All right, carry on. Are you guys have been playing anything else, Chris and Rachel?
Last Friday we started Has Been Heroes, a game we've had since we got our Switch 3 years ago. And we hadn't tried it yet until since last Friday. Yeah. It's interesting. Like it's I don't know how to describe it. I was playing it, Rachel didn't.
I was backseat gaming.
You were.
Yeah, I think it's like it's a roguelite strategy game. But it kind of seems like it has like, you know, the art, like it's got all the RPG elements in there and stuff like that, but it kind of with the way it's set up, as you can see in the video, like the battle style, it's like everybody's in a line and it's like Plants vs Zombies when they're coming at you.
That's what I thought when I first saw it.
Whack them on the head, but then to get to the enemies, you're like running like you're in Metopia or something, and you follow the map. And yeah, it's kind of it's an odd game. We didn't get very far in it because we kept dying. It's a very unforgiving game. Once you die, that's it. You start all over.
But the controls are really interesting. I liked having to make the strategy on the fly, like trying to switch characters around and try not to kill them. But one character in particular kept dying. I don't like him.
Yeah, every single time we died, it was always one character.
Probably some soft mage or something.
They're old. That's the point. That Has Been Heroes. Yeah, it's an interesting,
all squishies.
Interesting story, but
it's like Bruce Willis as opposed to Jason Statham.
Probably.
Yes, there you go.
Although I don't really understand the story just yet, because as of right now, what we're trying to do is escort 2 princesses to school.
Right.
As one does.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
When
so
you are
I
a
don't
has-been
know.
hero. Yeah.
We'll see how it gets if we get further into it, depending on how good or bad we are at the game.
I like it. It was fun to play. It was kind of addicting, actually.
It's different. Yeah.
Right.
Are there like RPG elements that roll over from each like playthrough? Like you level up a character and later on you can be stronger, or does it always start over?
I haven't noticed yet. Probably.
Fair.
Yeah, I was very taken aback because I've been playing roguelite games like Into the Breach, 20XX, Moonlighter, where like you get stuff that carries over even when you die. But watching YouTube play it on stream last week, it like straight up game over screen, and then it kicks you back to the title screen at the beginning, and that is very harsh.
Oh yes. I need to see if there's like a way to save and figure out if I could just get back to where I was before, because I did beat a boss a couple times. So
Yeah, but the first
Nice.
level, there's 2 bosses. You beat the first one, then you died on the next one, and then you
After
have
I
to
had to
start,
start over,
all
yeah.
over.
so
So I don't know. We'll, like I said, we'll see if we get further into it.
but it was fun.
That sounds punishing.
Yes.
Sounds like the E NES.
Yeah, it does.
Man, yeah, the NES era of games is just so, I don't know, it's so crazy how I guess the business model impacted those games of like they didn't have the technology to make like these long experiences, so they just made it super hard instead.
Yep.
And I still don't understand how kids like I was there. Well, I mean, okay, I was there, and I mean, I was
Remember, you said your age on my stream
Yeah.
last night.
I don't know if you guys know this. I'm 28 years old. There it is. It's out there.
Hey, happy
Everybody
birthday again.
knows. Everybody knows.
Yep.
You're only
Having-
28.
Having gone back and played those
I'm not sure either. Was that a joke? Because I don't think that's true. But is that true?
I think there's something. I think if there was a lie detector hooked up, it would be going off.
Yeah, I think so too.
I don't know what you guys are talking about. I'm holding a completely straight face
Wow.
as I tell you I'm 28 years old. So
Yeah.
let me just get my trophy here. There we go.
I think you have to be 28 to hold the Larry OB.
Yep.
Sorry, the Triforce of
The Triforce of
basketball.
basketball.
Yes.
No, those games are still crazy hard. Like I thought when I was a kid, like, oh, well, I'll just grow up and I'll have like enough video game skill to beat these games. And like I can't beat any of them.
No.
No. Everything I couldn't beat as a kid, I still can't beat now.
It's like they've kept those programmers on our whole life just to keep those games
Yeah.
impossible
Yeah.
to beat.
No one's really meant to be
Go
Mike
back to
Tyson.
the NES Classic.
No.
I know.
I booted up Shinobi in an emulator the other day,
Oh, man.
and I don't even. I don't know, like 5 minutes into it, I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. Shut up.
Yeah, it's bad.
It's ridiculous. It's so hard.
Mm.
It's like Lion King for the Game Gear. Oh,
Yes.
That's they have that on Switch now,
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
and it's
We didn't
not
get it,
any
but-
easier.
I like how you threw out Lion King on Game Gear.
Game Gear.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
it's,
that's
so
where we
random.
played it.
it's a specific Lion King game that just heats my blood.
Yeah. I hear you.
Played it on the SNES.
Right.
Yeah.
Same. Yeah.
And then on stream, I think, Jet, was that like your first stream with us?
That was the very first stream I saw of you two.
I failed
I think that
miserably.
was our very. Oh no, that wasn't
No.
our first
We
stream.
played Minute.
Never mind.
Minute was our first one.
Yeah, I don't
I'm
even
pretty sure everyone. Oh, go ahead.
because like I know Chris and Rachel had been like, or we'd collaborated on a post. I don't even think it'd gone live yet. But then I stumbled on your Twitch channel, like, oh, you guys started streaming. Let's see what's going on. And then I showed up for like the next one, and that was it.
There we go.
Mm-hmm.
Been showing up ever since.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I can't get rid of you.
I was gonna say that, but that was gonna be. No, really appreciate you, Jet.
That's true though. Yeah. Anything else to add to Has Been Heroes?
No, I mean it's fine if you guys want another challenge. I'm not sure if you guys do after that talk about the NES games, but
Yeah, that was the thing that stuck with me.
it
This
is fun.
it looked like RPG Plants vs Zombies, but also really hard.
Yes,
Oh yes.
And also, if you go on, it's made by
describe it.
it's made by Frozen Byte. So if you go on their site and look at their description of the game, it's like the king has one more quest, the most epic of them all, to take the twin princesses to school. It's like, okay, guys,
Oh, that is the
Nice.
game. Okay.
at least one of the missions, that's for sure.
Mm.
What school is this? Anyways.
I didn't even
Hey.
think princesses went to school.
I
Yeah.
thought they were homeschooled in towers, but I guess I could be
Exactly.
wrong.
You'd think.
Maybe it is in his kingdom, and the tower is so far away from where they stay. You have to
And,
Right?
we go through like a haunted forest and frozen wastelands. Like I don't know.
Yeah. Apparently, it's a million miles away.
You think you'd live closer to your school, but
They're a princess. They can afford local housing. You know what I mean?
right?
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
thought the
right.
princesses just went to Canada.
Oh,
Wow. Topics. Mic
Oh.
drop.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Only part time though.
The Princess of
Yeah, just
Barry,
part-time.
Meghan Markle.
Yeah.
Imagine that though, the Princess of Hamilton.
Hey, just throwing this out there, she could actually be the Princess of Windsor.
Windsor. Seeing Detroit on the other side. Oh, it's Canadian jokes. Okay, sorry.
I don't
Yeah.
get your Canada jokes.
Very funny, Canada.
Windsor's like the royal name, and then there's also Windsor, Ontario, which is like a kind of it's a town.
We also have a
Actually, it's
we have a London, Ontario as well, and a Paris, Ontario.
True. Yeah,
there you go.
It's actually Mountbatten Windsor, their last name, believe it or not.
well, we don't have a Mountbatten, Ontario, so sorry.
Well, maybe that's something we should look into as a country.
Not
That's all
yet.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
The Duchess of Timmins, Meghan Markle.
Oh,
The
imagine.
Duchess of Tim Hortons.
Wow.
Man, we could just keep going. All right, let's
Yeah.
move on here.
The Duchy of Tim Hortons? Nobody? Anybody?
Oh, because Dutchy,
Wow.
because of the donut.
Okay.
I'm gonna hit this video and someone talk about it.
right.
Go.
Oh, that's me.
Okay.
That's not me.
So-
Okay.
Oh, it's me too, but yeah, go ahead.
All right.
Or John too. Yeah. So Star Wars. It's basically Uncharted with a lightsaber.
Okay. I like Uncharted to a point.
It was good. I enjoyed it. I thought the actual combat was really, really good. The lightsaber combat specifically is fantastic, and then you combine it with force powers and like pushes and pulls and things like that. It's also got like a dodge and roll kind of mechanic to it. So everything is very timing based, and I don't know. It's pretty like frantic most of the time. And then you get into scenarios where you have like 5 or 6 enemies at the same time, and you're dodging and sword fighting and pushing,
Deflecting
people, grabbing
blaster
people,
bolts
deflecting
and, yeah.
blaster bolts and stuff. And it gets pretty cool. The combat reminded me somewhat of like in like Arkham Knight kind of style, where it's very sort of counter based and
Mhm.
again,
Yeah, it's
all
Assassin's
really
Creed
timing-based.
kind of.
Yeah. But yeah, that's I think the main draw of it, and it looks fantastic. It looks
Yeah,
so
really.
good, and the lighting is so good and everything. The story is also pretty good. Yeah, I mean, I had a great time with it. I beat it actually yesterday,
Oh, congratulations.
2 days ago, yesterday. Yeah, story plays out. Ending is really cool. I won't spoil anything for anybody if they're trying to play it.
I'm not
but-
finished yet, so please don't.
Yeah, I know it's all good. But yeah, everything's good. I mean, the voice acting is actually really well done, and the mouths actually move when they say the right syllables and stuff. So
Nice.
it makes
Yeah.
things a lot more immersive. Yeah, overall, just really impressed with it. Really impressed with it.
And the little droid is one of my favorite things. Like just
Be-
sort of always like it's like a little best friend. It's great. You're so, and I find myself like, hey, Gabe, man, what's up? Like, hey, little guy.
He's like a little robot dog, and he sits on your shoulder for the whole
That'd be like
thing.
the only reason why we would play it.
And you upgrade him, and he hops up on the little desk, and then you tinker around, and he hops down. He's like, "Ooh, I like my new little body," and then you hop on your back, and away you go.
Yeah,
Nice.
and he also hacks things for you and like opens doors and chests.
Containers, and yeah.
Yeah, he's awesome, and he looks kind of like Wall-E. He's got those like Wall-E eyes, so they're kind of emotive and expressive, even though he's a robot. Yeah, there he is.
Oh,
Nice.
shoot, he is.
Mm-hmm.
He'd be the only reason.
So it's pretty cool. Yeah, no, it's definitely good. One thing I will say though is I've heard sort of, I guess, rumors or things in the behind the scenes about the game kind of being rushed out the gate. And there are certain things in the game that sort of reflect that. Like, so random things that I saw throughout the game, like at some points during the game, you're swimming. So first of all, when you open chest, BD-8 like jumps onto the chest and like then opens it, jumps in, rattles around, jumps out, and gives you whatever's in the chest. And then there's these parts of the game where you're swimming underwater and you find the chest, and then you swim up to it and you open the chest and it just rattles around and then gives you what's in the chest, but BD-8 doesn't go anywhere. So it's like it was the same animation, but just didn't bother.
Underwater.
Right in it. Yeah.
Interesting.
And then the thing that I laughed about was the fact that when you go underwater, and I don't know if anybody will get this, but if anybody played Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on the Nintendo, like the original
Yes.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, do you guys remember the underwater bomb defusing level?
Yes.
Vividly.
Legendary.
Yeah. So there, when you're underwater and you swim up to these chests and open them, he does this kind of like thing where you swim to it, and then you float towards it, and then he just kind of like does this thing.
Yeah.
Just open, and as soon as the first time you did it, that's the first thing I thought of was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and that's the only thing I could think of every time I swam up to a chest. I was like, oh my god, I'm defusing these bombs again, swimming through these electrical wires.
It's
two
not a mistake.
things.
It was an homage.
Yeah, I hope so. I really hope that's what it was.
Two things. That's called the Force. And secondly,
right.
BD1, not BD8.
Or BD1, whatever it is. I just call it BD.
Wow.
Yeah, he's probably the best, one of the best, if not the best companion characters I've had in a game in recent memory.
Wow.
Maybe that's what BD stands for. Best droid. Best
Right?
That's droid.
There you go.
He's
That's
your
exactly.
buddy.
There you go.
Randy says
Add that
confirmed.
to the cut.
TMNT, we're using the Force.
See?
Yes. You heard it first here.
And speaking of, that game in the 80s was like the ultimate gut punch of you buy the Ninja Turtles game and you beat the first level and you get to the second level and just get destroyed underwater by one of the hardest stages in video game history.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's frustrating and anger inducing and could give you diarrhea if you're not careful. That's how bad it is.
I can still hear the sound it makes when you hit or when you hit the little seaweed, the electrical seaweed.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
Oh my God.
No.
Yeah.
Oh my lord.
And I can still hear the
over and over again.
Man, Raphael was far and away the worst character in that game.
Oh,
100%.
Oh, the side just spun right in front of him. You got to pick Donatello because he reached like halfway across the screen.
Yeah. And the bow when he spins with the staff.
Yeah.
All the speedrunners use bows.
Yeah.
Use Donatello. You can kill people through the ceiling.
Yeah.
How does that even work?
Yeah.
Oh man, I remember. Do you guys remember the first? Was it Rocksteady who was the first boss? And like, so the stage is here, and then there's like a boxes that you drop into the level, and I would just.
Oh yeah, you gotta stay up there.
Yeah. So
yeah, you just stab him down.
You just like stand at the box, and then you just stab downwards over and over again.
Yeah.
Top tier strats.
Well, to be fair, he wasn't very smart.
Yeah, that's true.
Even in the cartoon.
Yeah, he would just jump upwards and get hit in the head with the stick over and over again.
Yeah. Also, he had a gun that only forward.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't know. I blame him. It's not our fault.
And do you ever know that when so I don't know, maybe just because these things stand out to me for some reason I can't explain, but when you're fighting, I think it's Rocksteady or might have been Bebop, the one with the brown with all the crates and that around.
Yes.
And April's tied up to like a pallet, but she's like right in headshot of every bullet that comes out of Bebop's gun. Like legit. Anyway, good times, good memories.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the last thing I'll say about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is there was this one jump at the end of, I think, like the first part or something. And I spent probably like, I don't know, weeks trying to get this jump, and I never made it. And then I realized you could just walk right over it.
Yep, I know exactly.
Was that the one where?
About.
Is that the one where it's like it's up higher?
Yeah, it's like this far apart.
Exactly.
And then you try and jump, and it's made so you hit the ceiling and fall through it.
Yeah, exactly.
And then somebody at school, I think, was like, "Why are you jumping? You could just walk over it." And I was like,
"Oh,
no."
yeah."
And then I went home and I tried it, and it
developer
worked.
Trolling you. Yeah.
The original YouTube, the school ground.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And that's crazy that we were all traumatized by this exact same Ninja Turtles game.
Still own it. It's somewhere in that box. So
yeah. So anyways, if you'd like to relive that, play Jedi Fallen Order and swim in the
water. John, anything you wanted to add about Star Wars?
I guess I want to say that I was surprised by it. I made the mistake of reading a whole bunch of reviews and sort of people's opinions before I got into it, because I really only started playing it after Christmas. Matt actually gave me a present this year, which was he took my whole desktop computer and revamped it and added a couple terabyte SSD drives and a whole bunch of stuff to it and brought it back to me. So he got me this game as well and installed it on it before when he brought it back to me, and I was super excited to play it, but I'd heard so many things about it that people were just ragging on this game and everything was very negative. And I started playing it and it's like, wow, it's fine for me. Like maybe I'm just oblivious, or I'm too much of a Star Wars fan or something, but the story's there, graphics are there, gameplay's there. Like Matt said, there's a couple little things you notice with some frame rate issues a little bit, and then some of the stuff that doesn't really make a heck of a lot of sense, like the looking for boxes underwater and stuff. But I think it's fantastic, and I think that if you're a Star Wars fan, you should play it.
All right, it's
Sounds
on
good.
my list of. It was on my Christmas wish list. Didn't happen this time. I'll probably pick it up at some point. I do have some Star Wars buddies here. I don't know if you've seen them on stream. I know one of them I'll put on stream like officially next month. One, we've got a giant BB-8.
Oh
Yeah.
So yeah, this one is actually Steph. She got it for her birthday, but we don't really have anyone
Aw.
upstairs for it to go, so it's just been chilling in the basement for a while. And I got this one recently. My mother-in-law gave this to me like out of the blue. I have a Yoda. A pretty convincing looking on stream. It looks like just Yoda's chilling with me. It's almost as convincing as me with the NBA. I mean, the NBA title is actually here, but John's gonna like one up me on Star Wars stuff.
Just wait. I already know what he's getting.
This is Halloween decor. So you actually put like your candy bowl here. And
that's amazing.
Yeah. And what's gonna freak you out here? Yeah, it's only like half a Yoda.
Whoa.
No.
It's a yo.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay, so Jet, to compliment yours, I have this guy.
Oh yes,
Ooh.
I have that upstairs, but it's
legit moves around like with the remote control and makes the noises, and the head moves and everything, and it's
Nice.
it's a remote control on your cell phone.
nice.
And then Jet, because we seem to do everything the same way all the time.
All right.
Oh,
Oh, nice. Yeah.
He's got a Yoda with a back.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you have a full. I have a half Yoda.
No, I got a full on
Full
with the
Yoda.
hood,
Wow.
and
Nice.
he's all rubber, and he actually moves. He's not remote controlled, but he'll react to the Force. So like you can push him with your hand, and he'll like move back, and he'll teach you how to use the Force and stuff when you
That's
turn him
funny.
on. I mean, I already know how to use the
That's actually
Force.
how
So it's not a
John
big
learned
deal.
how to use the Force. Yeah.
Well, mine
Yep.
mine might hold a BB-8 in its arms. Yeah, there it is.
Wow.
There it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Confirmed.
take that.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's funny how we have like the exact same things, Jet.
All right, we're done with Star Wars. Jason, what are you playing?
A lot of games, but we're only going to talk about a couple. So I want to start with The Outer Worlds. I played that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Laura's sister got it for me for Christmas and started that guy on PlayStation. Pretty fun. I feel like you guys probably talked about how much I like Fallout on this podcast at least once, but I have played all of the games. This is by Obsidian, and a lot of the people that made the original Fallout games, and more recently a lot of the team that made New Vegas for PS3 and Xbox and PC. So it has that same sort of vibe, and I feel like the definition of Fallout in space is pretty accurate. It's similar to that. So it has that sort of sense of humor, the search things to get guns and trinkets and upgrade yourself sort of gameplay. And it looks really nice. So you can see from the trailer here, like it's fairly pretty. But I always liked these types of games, Fallout in particular, for kind of the fun atmosphere that you build in the world. And I've played maybe 6 or 7 hours so far because we had to go on our vacation, but it's pretty good. And they make a world that feels like you're dropped into this world that actually has stuff happening in it, where like they don't tell you everything, and so you feel like I'm experiencing the story. Like things will happen, and you're like, what does that mean? Because like they don't tell you. Like you have to go figure out because this world actually lives and breathes around you, and that's pretty fun. But that being said, there's some things that aren't quite what I wanted it to be. I feel like the combat is a little weak. It just feels pretty basic. Like nothing is really challenging just yet. But again, I am only on like the 3rd or 4th planet, so we'll see. But if you like these types of games, I mean, I would say if you enjoyed Fallout, if you enjoyed New Vegas, or if you like an RPG Skyrim-ish type of game, it's right up there for you. And yeah, it's pretty solid.
Now, what if I think Fallout 76 is the greatest Bethesda game of all time? How will I react to The Outer Worlds?
Well,
You specifically mean Fallout 76?
Yes.
Yeah, I think you'll still enjoy this game because it's similar, but I feel like you'll think that this game is more streamlined because there's less stuff. Like 76 is an okay game. Like there's nothing wrong with the game, the idea of that game. I just feel like in execution it didn't work out that well.
Mm-hmm.
But this game looks like this game is like, how to describe this? I feel like if there's a formula you want to have, like both of those games are on the opposite end of where they should be. They just don't quite get what the other one is like lacking, and vice versa. So like this game has a good storyline, and it has characters that progress the story forward and some fun quirkiness to it. Whereas I feel 76, it doesn't quite have that, but it does have pretty intricate combat. It has a lot more like funness to do outside of talking with people. So if that's what you really liked for 76, you probably won't enjoy this game as much. But I mean, I know you're trying to be joking and stuff for like 76. So I feel like if you actually enjoyed any of the other Fallout games, 3 and onward, you will like this game.
Okay.
I was like, man, Jason's actually answering this question.
Yeah, that was, man, I kind of felt like a jerk for asking a joke question there, but
yeah, you jerk. No, I feel you. I think that like 76 has so much potential, and they just keep dropping it so many times that it's very, very frustrating. But I don't know. Regardless, like we'll see what happens. But in the meantime, Fallout fans that really wanted a Fallout 5, you essentially have Fallout 4.5 right now.
Great.
Yeah.
Mm.
So I played Outer Worlds. I actually beat Outer Worlds. That was one of the other games that I beat while I was off.
Nice.
And it's the one thing I like about it is that you can do things pretty much any way you want to do them. Like you don't really have to fight almost at all in this game.
Yeah.
You can raise like your charisma and your charm and all this kind of stuff and talk your way through most of the game.
Yeah.
So
I noticed that too, because I felt like in I think it was more so in Fallout 3, there was lots of times where you would have like high charisma, charm, persuade, whatever, and you would get those skill trees in conversation, but then it would end with you killing someone. And I'm like, well, whatever. But in this game, it's kind of like, no, I just convinced him to like turn off that power plant, and like that whole level is done. I'm like, okay, so it's kind of fun. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Randy,
I like those choices.
Yeah.
Randy says this looks up his alley. I know he's a big fan of Fallout. And then he says I should have bought this instead of Disco Elysium.
I've heard that's
that game's
really
supposed to be good. Yeah. Had I played it, it might have been a game of the year.
Yeah.
We're doing that whole thing again.
Yes. Yeah.
Did we ever stop?
Yeah. The only Bethesda game I've played was Skyrim, and I loved Skyrim, but I never felt the urge to play Fallout or any of the other Bethesda games since. But watch it, like getting the B-roll for this, I was like, oh, this actually looks really cool. I might have to check this out.
Yeah. I think I would definitely say I liked Fallout from the original Fallout in 2, because the story was really, really cool and engaging. So this doesn't have that, because it's actually not related, at least not yet. But I mean, it's a great start for a kind of fun world. I mean, you have space. It's like a limited possibility. So there's hopefully that bright future for them.
Yeah.
All right. And Randy says, I want to like Disco Elysium, except so much of the dialogue is dense diatribes and about philosophy and communism.
But that's what you bought the game for, right?
That sounds amazing. Yeah. I would play it.
So it's a dense diatribe and philosophy simulator? Sounds great.
Right on the back of the box.
That's my favorite genre.
Yeah.
What else you been playing, Jason?
Oh yeah,
this is the one I really want to hear about.
Yeah, we picked up a while ago. It was on sale. We picked up Anima Dan, the kind of follow up to Until Dawn. So has everyone played Until Dawn? It was free on PlayStation.
Yeah, I have played it. Yeah.
Maybe. Yes.
Chris and Rich, I don't think this is up your alley.
Nope.
But I freaking love Until Dawn, dude. That game is so cool. It's like a teen slasher film as a video game, and then you can make all these decisions. And I love that game. And I had like up until I went to get the video for this, I had no idea that this existed, and they made another one of these. So tell us more.
So just the basics. So it's very similar to the gameplay. Like you're still going to have these characters, you control their moves, and you'll make choices for them. And you'll sometimes do quick time events. Like that's the actual game. So it's really an interactive story. But without any spoilers, essentially you have a group of kids that are going out on this boat you can see here to try to go underground to this sunken ship, because there might be some like treasure, essentially. Like that's what they're doing. Shenanigans ensue. So as you play, you control one of 5 players at like any given time. So you switch between them just like you would in Until Dawn. But in this game, we actually did that thing right there where you play cooperatively with friends. So we actually had 5 people here in our house, and we each controlled one player. And so it'll say like, pass the controller to Jason, because I took over I was like Conrad, one of the characters. So I made all of Conrad's choices. But the game does a good job, just like Until Dawn, maybe even a little bit better, where your stories will interact and crisscross. So if you like do something. In Until Dawn, you would have like butterfly effects where it affects the other timelines. Same idea here. So like if you decided to see a wrench and you pick it up or you don't pick it up, like that will affect what happens later, even down to like if that person lives, if the person is with someone else later, if something happens way later in the game. Like, it's the entire idea. And so it having it with multiple people made it a lot more interactive as a game, because the game was only like 3 hours, like I would say maybe 3 or 4 if you play it one playthrough. But with all of the other people sitting here enjoying the game, you're essentially watching a movie that you interact with, and it was pretty fun. And so the series itself, it's called like the Man of Medan, and it's part of the Dark Chronicles, Dark Anthology, something like that. So there's going to be more, like not necessarily with the same characters, but in the same vein of this game. So every now and then you see a guy that is walking through. He looks kind of like David Bowie, and he has this like hat on and like these old face and stuff. He's kind of like a storyteller, and he's like narrating the story that you're telling. And so it's just in between the games, like, or in between each round, he'll like give little insights and stuff, and it's pretty fun. So if you liked Until Dawn, you wanted more of that, this is right up your alley.
Jet, we should do it.
Yeah. So, so Jason, if it's only like there's no online play, it's like one controller only, and you pass it around, right?
Yes. So we passed controller.
Is there
I thought the thing that you're playing, though, didn't it say something about playing online up to 5 friends?
Cooperate with a friend online.
Yeah, you can. So I'm pretty sure we didn't do that, but I'm not sure if you're playing like simultaneously with them, or if it's more than likely you're probably like maybe opening a story and you all are playing the same story, but then when it goes to someone else's turn, you just watch. I'm honestly not sure how it goes. I thought that it was you're playing kind of at the same time, because there's definitely things that happen that like directly relate to someone, but you could obviously do it at the same time. So I don't know if anyone knows, I guess let us know. But regardless, you could definitely play online. You could definitely play by yourself and still enjoy it, but I feel like it's more fun if you have people hanging out with you.
Because I think
the other thing it says on there is that you both have to own the game. So you
yes,
both
you do.
have to own a copy of it.
Because in theory, if it's one person drive, like I've thought about this because there's another game I want to stream Pandemic with you guys, and I have it on the Switch now. And we're not talking about that anyway. It's the idea would be like I would control it locally, and then you guys tell me what to do. Jason, would it work of like one person drives and then everyone else can like talk through? Like Chris can say my character is going to do this when that thing pops up, and then I would just hit the button.
I mean, you better act fast because you only have a certain amount of time, and like just with general lag with games, that might be a little hard to do. But yeah, you totally could.
Yeah, well, I mean,
like,
you guys,
if you can watch it and it responds fast enough.
Yeah, like you're watching Discord here, or like you're watching this through Discord, and it's pretty much in real time. So if
definitely. I mean, there's definitely some times where you, as the player, will have to be doing QuickTime events, and you have to act fast, and you would also have to act fast on making some critical choices. So, like, it could happen, but I mean, yeah, like, whatever it works. I feel like if nothing else, you're telling your story. So, like, you're going to get an event, you're going to get a story, and if you enjoy that, it's great because there's no actual way to like win or lose. You just sort of experience it.
Yeah, I think as a streaming experience, like Chris and Rich, I know you guys don't play like the M-rated games and stuff, so maybe you'd want to pass on this one. But generally, the idea of playing this style of game and having us all sit around and like experience it and then like talk through the decisions that are being made sounds super cool to me.
Oh yeah, I guess full warning, there are like jump scares and there's some scary stuff that happens.
Yeah,
it's definitely rated M.
So I just looked online. It said that Man of Medan has 14 different endings.
Oh wow,
sounds about right.
Yeah, so that sounds cool.
Cool.
Much replayability.
Yeah.
All right, a couple more on the list here. I think there's at least one. I'm gonna play this video and someone chime in and tell me about this game.
Matt. All right, I can do that. Yeah,
put this on the list, man.
Yeah, I know. I totally forgot. I've been slowly working my way through this game. This was one of, I don't know how long ago I bought it, but it's Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and I really like it. It's long and it's really big, and it's a lot to get through. The story's good though. It's just one of those games that I play for a little bit, then I put it down, and then I play it for a bit, then I put it down. But yeah, no, it's good, and the story's really good, and then like the combat's really good. It actually every time I play it and I see some of the areas, it almost shocks me that the game is so large. Like the areas are so big and there's so much to explore and do. Because it's on, well, I mean, and because it's on the Switch too, right? But yeah, I've just been having a good, I don't even know, probably, I want to say not even halfway through, and I've probably put like 30 plus hours into it.
Wow.
So I've heard it goes into like the hundreds.
Yeah, it's huge, and it's confusing as heck too.
Yeah. And the one thing about this is that there's a map, but it doesn't so the map is like a basic like HUD map, and it's got like an arrow pointing up if where you need to go is above you, or down if where you need to go is below you. But the problem is that a lot of these levels have like multiple levels of like height to them. So while it says up, it may be like 3 levels above you, but you don't actually know where it is. So you go to the next one, then it still says up, so then you go to the next one. I don't know, it's weird. But the fast travel system's good, so that kind of helps it out a little bit. But if it's a place you've never been to before, the map can get a little confusing, for sure.
All right.
More than a little confusing. I put it down because of the map, to be honest.
Wow.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
We have this game, I think. I don't think it's opened.
Oh, really?
It's fun. It's fun, and the gameplay's great. It's just, it's confusing.
Although I think we have for the Wii U. Wasn't on the Wii U?
The first one was.
The first one?
Yeah,
that's
no,
what I'm thinking of.
yeah, we don't have this game.
We on the second one? Okay.
No.
We have some Xenoblade thing that's not open. But
I have so many games that aren't opened. It's totally fine.
It's true. It happens. The other thing that throws me about this game is the fact that all of the characters have a really thick Scottish accent.
Really?
Yeah, it's like such a random choice to make for the voice acting. Yeah, the majority of the main characters have a really thick Scottish accent. So get ready for that if you play it.
There's nothing wrong with that. Just
No, it's great. It's just
She's like, hey there, fellas.
it's just a choice, you know. It's like, how many games have you played where the main character has a thick Scottish accent?
Yeah.
not many.
Yeah,
Maybe it's a good thing.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Underrepresented.
Was there ever a Braveheart video game? I don't know.
Yeah, right.
Oh, that would have been like that would have been awful.
That would have been early, like PS 2?
It would have been like Rome Total War, like the first one, like from.
It's just like 4 guys running at 4 other guys that represent like 3,000 people.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, anyway, that's all I got to say about that.
We're going to talk about one more thing, and I know I'm not the expert in this, so if someone would like to chime in and talk about this particular game, they are more than welcome to.
I love this game. It's so much fun. I played it on the 3DS as well, and this game is just it's so much fun. And you get lost in it. You just gonna keep playing and playing, and before you know it, you're like, oh my god, I gotta go to bed. This is ridiculous.
Oh,
it is a fabulous game. I love this game.
Go for it, Rachel. Go tell us how amazing Luigi's Mansion 3 is.
Oh, me?
Yes.
You didn't tell me I had to talk about it.
He said
And go.
He just did.
it's a grab bag. Just go.
If you want, I can just start talking about my experience so far, and you can chime in.
I don't know what to say about it other than that it's fabulous.
Okay.
And I'm just happy to have another Luigi's Mansion.
Whoa, calm down. We're not attacking you here.
Also, like, Luigi's so ridiculous in this game. Like, I laugh out loud moments at some of the like he does, or
like when he legit gets scared stiff.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah. I'm about half. I don't know exactly how. I'm about to finish the movie studio. I've left the movie studio for everyone who's played the game. But so far, like, I'm really into it. There's so much charm in Luigi, and like this one even more so because it's like has the power of the Switch, and it has that intro scene, which is like just this amazing 15-minute clip seeing like Mario and Luigi and Peach like interact in ways you don't see in the Mario universe. And I kind of wish all the Mario games were a little more like this. Like, imagine, say, like, I don't know, a Mario RPG with this level of cinematics and animation.
So good.
Like, it would be incredible.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, it's Luigi's Mansion. You run around, you catch ghosts. One of the big differences that I've noticed is this one's a lot more linear in nature. It's not so much like explore this one big house. It's
Yeah.
we've used the hotel so that we can like strategically cut up the levels so that it's just level 1, 2, 3. And personally, I actually prefer it that way. I did not like Luigi's Mansion 2. I would get stuck because I'm really bad at puzzles, but I would also get stuck because I get lost. And with this one, I just get stuck because I'm not good at the puzzles. And then I Google it real quick and like, oh, it's this one thing I didn't think about. But otherwise, like, it's so clever in the way that these puzzles are designed. That movie studio one, I don't want to spoil it, but it just does some really cool stuff.
Yeah.
That you have to see and experience yourself. And yeah, the animations are so great. And I have not had a chance to play it co-op, but I've heard that's very good as well with Guigi.
Guigi, that's the best.
Yeah.
This game is so charming. It's so charming.
Yeah.
It's got the Nintendo feel to it.
I don't think it's spoiling anything, but Jet, the last part of the movie studio, I'm pretty sure that's how they filmed Power Rangers. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait till you get to the 14th floor.
Okay.
That's my favorite.
All right.
And you'll immediately know why.
All right. 14th floor. Got it.
And marking that down in my book. Okay.
Are you guys, besides Rachel, are any of you guys playing Luigi? It sounds like you are.
Yeah, I've played it.
I actually also got this for Christmas, but I haven't opened it yet.
Oh man, everybody's got it. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, John, Matt, what else? Jump in here. Help me out.
Matt?
Well, I beat it.
I know, that's the problem.
So I don't know like how much to say or not, but yeah, I agree with everything you guys are saying. Like, I think charming is probably the best way to put it. It's one of those things where, again, you can just keep playing it and never really get tired of it. And then each level gives you something almost entirely different than the level before that, which is also good. But then it's just the little things, like, like things specifically on this screen here. There's that little like putting green. I think I spent like probably 5 minutes trying to like push the ball into the hole. Yep. And then I did, and like, spoilers, nothing happens at all. But I wasn't even mad. I was just kind of like, I did it, and then I went to the next one. You know what I mean?
Fun.
So yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
And the characters are really good too. Like, even
So
the boss
good.
enemies and stuff, and the ghosts, they're all like fun. So yeah, it's a great game.
Yeah, some really.
Well, the one boss where you're fighting that was it the king with his in the court with all his knights, and the ghosts are all in the audience and they're all jumping around. It's so
And they
like
boo you.
and they boo you. Yeah, it's so charming.
Yeah.
My only complaint about this game is that I wish there were more ghosts. Like in the
Yes.
first 2 games, you enter a room, it's dark, there's a ton of ghosts coming at you, and then you have to defeat them to turn the lights on. And it wasn't like that in this game. I felt like the ghosts were pretty scarce, especially in the beginning.
They did. I think the one thing I did like about it though is that, and I think it's different from the 3DS, but the I don't want to call it a proton pack or whatever it is, but whatever he's wearing, it feels better in this game than it did in previous games. Like and obviously it does new things that it didn't do before, like stunning the enemies and like firing plungers and jet propulsion, all that kind of stuff. But there's something about the way this game feels when you're playing it. Like, you just feel completely, I don't know, in control, and it's fun. It's really fun.
It's interesting. My one complaint about the game is the controls, where I never fully feel in control. I think the thing that bothers me about it that I cannot wrap my head around is that when you control Luigi with the right stick to aim, it's not aiming, it's turning. So you're using the stick and you hold it left or right, and he's spinning clockwise or counterclockwise and not just pointing left to point left. And that
I 100%
always trips
agree
me
with
up.
that. Yeah.
And there are times where you need to like shoot the plunger at the ghost to knock the thing off its head, and it's really hard to aim sometimes. So that's my one knock against Luigi's Mansion. But otherwise, it's fun, and like, it's also, the combat's never really that hard. They give you so many hearts. The only time I died was I wasn't able to figure out a puzzle in time, and I got squashed by spikes. But then I had the dog bone that brought me back to life anyway, so it's not that big of a deal.
I found that, like, I never played the originals on, like, I had never played a Luigi's Mansion game before this one, and I found it easy. I don't know if that's a common thing or if the other games were harder, but I like you said, Judd, I didn't really feel like there was any time where I was like, oh man, like I'm gonna die a lot, or like, oh, I'm really having trouble with this. It was like the combat and stuff, other than the puzzles, seemed like fairly simple.
I mean, I felt the same way with the first two games. Yeah. It wasn't crazy hard.
Yeah, not in the fighting anyway. The real challenge is the solving the puzzles.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think they've I guess maybe further to Rachel and Chris said about there being a lack of sort of ghosts. Maybe the issues with the controls aren't a bad idea when there's a lack of ghosts. You don't have to worry about it too much. But I don't know, now thinking back, I can see what you mean by it's a little bit finicky. But I don't know. I had fun with it. I thought it was, once you kind of get used to it, you just kind of plow through it, and it's good.
Also, I love just destroying everything.
Oh yeah, that's the biggest appeal.
The trademark of that series.
And the slams.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's new.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's all. Like, that's why I say with the new pack or whatever, the upgrades that you get in this game, it's almost, I don't want to say a completely different game, but the controls feel a lot like you. I don't know, like you can do more. Well, obviously you can do more, but you, like, that's what I mean by you feel like you're more in control. There's a lot more options.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So Rachel,
Nice.
as the Luigi's Mansion expert, rank them 1 through 3.
Ooh.
No, that's not. Two
That's
would
an
be,
answer.
the second game would be my least favorite,
Okay.
but it's hard to choose between the first and the third game.
All right. Fair enough. I beat 2, and I'm like where I am in 3, and I will beat it eventually. I have not played 1 yet. It is on my bucket list, though.
The first game is such a classic.
Okay. I've watched you play
pretty
it in
fun.
full, though, so there is that.
You still gotta play it.
Yeah, I'll get to it.
Not an
I
excuse.
want to get it on the GameCube, but it's like $60 here used, and that's a little too much for me. I know they
yeah.
have it on the 3DS as well, but I don't want to play the 3DS anymore.
Yeah, no, you gotta play the GameCube version.
Yeah.
But Rachel, here's a question for you. If you have played this first, do you think going back to the first one,
don't do it.
It would still have that same kind of allure? Or would you just be like, oh, this is just like a crappier version of number 3?
No,
Good question.
I think I would like it just the same because the hotel was so different from the mansion. Because like Jet said, the mansion, you're like in all these different, they're broken up into different areas and you're going from floor to floor. And it gets to be kind of like a maze at some points.
I hated that.
That seems to be the consensus.
I haven't played any other Luigi's Mansion. I only played the first one once because Rachel challenged me to.
You should play this one.
Maybe we could do co-op. Make you do the work.
All right. So, I know I've given you guys some homework because we're not doing a game show today. We are doing. Hold on. Do I have the button for it? Did I just change? Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. We're talking about Game of the Decade. So the original plan was to do Game of the Year, and then I realized we're in a new decade now. It's the 2020s, and we only get to do this once in 10 years anyway. So I thought, like, hey, what is your Game of the Decade? So how was the process like thinking through the games you've played in the last 10 years and narrowing it down to one?
It was pretty hard.
Like, legit, I have 1 game and then I have like 5 honorable mentions.
Yes, exactly. Just 5. Yeah.
I did narrow it down to 5.
Nice.
Game title?
Yeah, it was tough.
All right, sorry, I need to find. Nope, that's not it. Oh, dude, where is game show name? No, I had something totally set up and I've hidden it, and I don't know.
Jet, did you not do your homework?
Oh, I'm an idiot.
Jet.
I know exactly what's going on. All right, to give you guys a little more time, I volunteer to name my game of the decade first.
Wow. Okay.
All right. And this one...
Wait. What if we repeat Game of the Decade? Like, what if your game is my game?
Don't say anything.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure my game of the decade is not anyone's game of the decade.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
It's
This
Is it
Journey.
Celeste?
It's not Journey, unfortunately. I know I used Journey in the photo on Instagram, but no, it's not my personal game of the decade.
Joking. Yeah.
Disco Elysium.
No, it's not Disco Elysium either. And I agonize about this. I've been talking about this subject on stream for like the last few months, and I thought I had an answer, and I kind of changed my mind. And it's a little bit... I'm kind of playing with the rules here a little bit of how do you define a game in the 2010s.
Yeah.
So
I don't like how this is going already, Jet.
This is technically...
I think I know what you're going to say.
This is... Okay, to make it work, it is a game that technically came out in 2010. But its original version came out just before then. However, it is the game that probably made the biggest impact on me in the last decade, and therefore...
Don't say it. Don't say it.
It has to be...
It's Minecraft, isn't it?
No, it's not Minecraft.
It did?
No,
yeah, 2011.
Really? I thought it came out earlier than that.
I thought it was 2011. Shit, I don't know.
Yeah.
No, 2009. The original.
Never mind.
Yeah.
It's Fortnite, isn't it, Jet? It's Fortnite. You can be honest.
No, my personal game of the decade. How do I do this without
40 billion viewers
leaning
can't be
off
wrong.
of stream here? I'd like to be looking at the camera while I type this.
Did you make a drum roll effect?
I'll do it.
I should have done that. Oh my god, that sounds like hell in my headphones.
I didn't do it. I did. Sorry.
Oh, and who hit their microphone? That was the worst sound. Okay, without further ado.
Jack can't. He's deaf now. He can't do any more of the
Without
podcast.
further ado, my game of the 2010s is Super Street Fighter 4.
Wow.
And-
Jay, you stole my answer.
Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that. So technically, Street Fighter 4 came out in the late 2000s, but Super Street Fighter 4 came out April 2010. And the reason I picked this as my game of the decade, one, it was like a super influential fighting game. It added a whole bunch of new characters, and it was arguably the best balanced version of Street Fighter 4. But I picked it more for the impact it had on my life. Like, I'd played Street Fighter 4 and I enjoyed it, but Super Street Fighter 4 was when I got super into fighting games. And it was at this point where I got hold on. One sec. Are they actually Super Street Fighter 4 branded? 1 second. This is a really awkward show and tell. I swear I'm grabbing stuff. Is this? No, those are just regular Street Fighter. Never mind. Oh, and I dropped some
I enjoy
stuff.
when he gets distracted like this.
Yes, I know.
Anyway.
The chair.
Yeah, around the time of Super Street Fighter 4 is when I got super invested in fighting games, reading up on guides, listening to podcasts, watching videos, competing in tournaments, and like I played over 2,000 hours of Super Street Fighter 4, and like to the point where like I have it on the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3, so I could play with my work friends who also got super into it, and on the 3DS.
Very nice.
And
Wow.
so, yeah, I played this on like every chance I could. And it also opened the door for me to like play other fighting games. The skills that I developed here, like I was able to learn how to play Marvel. And then from there, I played like everything. So just for the influence it had on me as a fighting game fan as a whole, Super Street Fighter 4 is my game of the decade.
Wow.
Solid pick. Street Fighter 4 Super, actually, for your exact same reason, was on my short list of game of the decade as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it might have been there.
Yeah, close.
Does anyone want to volunteer for the next announcement here?
I'll go. Doesn't matter.
All right, John.
So, okay. So,
Already second guessing yourself.
no, I'm not. It's just again, it's like, how do you pick one, right?
Is it Fortnite?
No, but I do have something to say about Fortnite. I'm gonna go with The Witcher 3.
Whoa!
Ooh.
Congratulations, The Witcher 3.
So,
Project Red?
yes, I to be honest, I wasn't even interested in this game before I really started playing it. Like a lot of times it's on my list, or the game's been around for a while, and I'm fine. Oh, fine, I'll get to it when I get to it. But I really wasn't interested in this. And then it was actually Matt that mentioned it to me, I think, and said, give it a shot. It's a really good game. I was like, yeah, but it's like 5,000 hours long, and I don't have time to do it, and I just, all this stuff, and but he got me into it, and I actually played through it, and it's like just even as far as the side quests and the size of was it Niflheim? I can't remember the name of the
definitely not Niflheim.
Nipple something. Anyway,
but love the game though. Don't get
I do. Yeah, it's been so long, but no, the expanse of that world and just the openness and the side quests and then the storyline and how you sort of get really involved with the characters really makes it feel like you're sort of playing a movie, I guess. I don't really want to maybe not so much like in the sense of after dawn or until dawn and things like that, but just in the sense where you're maybe just one more mission or just one more this, or I'll just go here quick, and before you know it you're spending hours and hours and hours and really
sign of a good game.
Yeah, you kind of get lost in it, and I think that's why it's my favorite game. I think it took up a lot of my time and I didn't hate it. So I think that's why it gets my nod as favorite or best game of the decade, I guess. But as Matt said, for Fortnite, if anybody's picking that, I don't know, but you got to give a shout out to Fortnite. I don't even play it really, but I did win a few times.
Weird flex, but okay.
Yeah. But like for a game to come out in, what was it, 2017, 2017, something like that. Over 200 million accounts, things like that. Like people, I read online that parents are paying tutors to come into their house and teach their kids how to be better at Fortnite. There's like a Fortnite tutor you can hire. Like it's the business around it is incredible. Like they've gone from, started from the bottom, now they're here kind of thing. Like they're epic now, right? So kind of got to give them a shout out.
Literally.
Yeah. So anyway, just the fact that how big they've grown in such short time. I think everybody knows what Fortnite is, and it's only been 3 or 4 years. So got to give them a shout out for that, I guess. But anyway, that's me.
I think all of us here have played Fortnite except for Jason.
Never played it.
But you know what it is.
I've never heard of it before.
Jason.
Jason, the guy with 10,000 games in his house, has not played the most popular game in the universe for the last 3 years.
It's true. I have not. Yeah. I've also, fun fact, I've still never played Minecraft.
I haven't played that one either.
So it's 2 games I have not played.
Jason, if you're wondering, a fortnight just means 2 weeks.
Yeah, I know. I thought this phase would have been over 2.5 years ago, but I guess not.
Yeah.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Coincidentally, also how long as most of the Fortnite players take between showers. Anyway, go ahead.
Wow.
Whoa. Striking blow.
Yeah. You're going to alienate our audience here.
Well, I mean, I got nothing.
Yeah, you got nothing.
I've had a copy of The Witcher 3 sitting on my shelf for like 5 years now.
Oh, chat.
And I know.
Just pull the trigger.
I know, and like in light of this generation of consoles is ending, and I don't want to buy another copy of The Witcher either for the Switch or for the next gen. And then the Netflix show is really taking off. I've been kicking around the idea of just doing that as like my streaming game after we get settled in here. Just like, at least I know, like, if I'm streaming it, then I'm at least gonna play it at least once.
That's like accountability to it.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then it doesn't get in the way of like playing other stuff. So maybe I will stream that in the near future and see what happens. But I know with a game of that length, I could be streaming that for the rest of the year. So we'll see what happens.
Well, even if you don't beat it, like, it's just, I remember I put it down once. I hadn't beaten it yet, and it was still just, maybe I'll get back to that. And then eventually I just started again from the beginning, but I had to finish it. So it's one of those things that be careful what you start.
Okay. I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Witcher 3, game of the decade. All right, who's next?
I'll go next.
All right, Chris.
Yeah, you go.
What? So I have like 10 runner-ups. I started making lists for games I played in every year in the 2010s. I was like, I forgot how many games I enjoyed this past decade.
Yeah, seriously.
Eventually, there was one game that stuck out in my mind as soon as you gave us this homework. Mm-hmm. So I figured I'd stick with that, because there must have been a reason why it was the first one that popped in my head. So my game of the decade is Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, nice.
Congratulations, Breath of the Wild.
Nice. Also on my short list. Good pick.
Mine as well.
Your short list is getting long, Jason.
I didn't say. I mean, you don't know where it started.
I mean, this game, like the Legend of Zelda franchise, was one of the first franchises that I've ever played. It's what got me into video games. And Breath of the Wild is just, I love the exploration. I love how pretty it is. I love the way they did the story, piecing it together with the memories. I even like the Divine Beast. I didn't mind those. It was just all the little nods to all the previous games in it. It was just, I thought it was fantastic. I loved it.
Yeah. When I took an informal survey, I asked people on social media like what their game of the decade was. I'm pretty sure Breath of the Wild was the most popular answer I got.
Yeah,
really.
It should be.
I think when I was trying to determine what my game was, I would look at the games that stood out to me and think like, what did that game do that really sold me? And like Breath of the Wild was the first game, and I think maybe the only game that I've ever played, maybe even that exists, where like if you saw something, you can go there and like you can do that. And there's no invisible walls. Like there's a mountain, you can climb that mountain. And I thought that was pretty cool.
I died several times. Like I was like,
yes, exactly.
How far can we
Right,
jump?
that is stamina.
Oh, this is great.
Yeah. That stamina wheel never seems to be big enough, does it?
Exactly. I eat enough fish and berries. I'll make it up there.
True.
Yeah, I still vividly remember just like getting completely engulfed in the world of Hyrule, and each time I would boot up that game, I approached it more with this mentality of, I feel like I'm gonna run that way today, and that was it. I would just run there and I'd find like 10 or 12 things that I was really interested in, and I put it down, and then eventually I finished the game. But most of my enjoyment just came from randomly exploring that world.
It was,
And you'd always run into a shrine. Like you'd just be ready to put the game down, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh look, a shrine.
you have to do this. No.
Yeah. I mean, it's right here. I might as well do it. You know?
Exactly.
It's another 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I also,
continue.
sorry, one last thing. I also like the fact that you, like, further to Jason's point where he said you can kind of go everywhere, do everything. Like, there's speedrunners that legit like just start at the beginning and run right to the final boss and beat it.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, there's literally nothing you can't do in this game. So yeah. Anyway.
Any hopes and dreams for the sequel coming out in the somewhat near future? I know we know very little about it, but sorry, say that again.
I want to play as Zelda.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
they
kind of gave vibes that Zelda would be more involved in some shape or form. And yes, playable Zelda would be fantastic.
And I'm also kind of hoping the withered hand thing is like an old Ganondorf or something. I want more of that lore.
Yeah, that'd be cool. It'd be really cool.
So.
Right.
Oh my god, imagine it's couch co-op and one of you's Link and the other one's Zelda.
Yes.
What?
That would be
I call Epona.
John plays the horse.
Like in Jumanji. Oh wait, have you guys seen the new Jumanji?
No, not yet. I haven't seen it.
Oh, it's so good. You got to see it.
Yeah. I'll see it eventually. No spoilers.
No spoilers.
I've seen
Everyone
the
dies at the
first
end.
half of the first, well, like the modern Jumanji at my dentist office twice. It's pretty good
The
from what I saw.
movie watching experience.
You should have just asked them when they were playing the second half,
Yes.
and then just booked your appointment for that.
Yeah. All right, congratulations, Breath of the Wild, for being Chris's game of the decade. All right, so we still got Matt, Rachel, and Jason.
I'll go.
All right, Rachel's up.
You guys talk about like the actual game and the mechanics and the story and all that fun stuff. I had a really weird process to figure out my game of the decade.
Okay.
And I took my game of the year from all the years, and then I made a top 10 list. And weirdly enough, looking at that list, there were only 3 games that I had played and completed myself. Like there were so many games that we had completed, but I watched Kristen play. So I narrowed it down to those 3. And surprise, surprise, my game of the decade is Luigi's Mansion 3.
Hey!
There we go.
Earlier, Jet. You know, Luigi's Mansion 3, then the first game, then Dark Moon.
Right, there it
Nice.
is.
No spoilers. Nice job.
No wonder you were so cagey about trying to talk or me getting you to talk through that segment. Okay, so now tell us, why is Luigi's Mansion 3 the game of the decade?
Because it was, I think that was the first game in such a long time that I was so super excited about for months. And then when it came out and I started playing it, it actually delivered. It was so fun, and you can destroy so many things, and there's so much money. And it's, like I sat down and I couldn't put it down. And every time I had to stop playing, I couldn't wait to pick it back up again. And I can't wait to play it again already.
Nice.
Overall, good game.
Good.
Well, you could definitely play again with Chris, so you got that going for you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Game of the decade material. Congratulations, Luigi's Mansion 3.
Smooth.
All right.
I've been doing it for everybody.
Jason and Matt, who's it going to be?
I can go next.
All
Matt,
right.
you can go last. Okay. So yeah, process there and all that stuff. So it was tough to think about all these games. So one last thing I wanted to say too, before we get to my actual game of the year, I was really surprised that Skyrim came out this year or this decade, 2011. That was really surprising. That game was great. But for mine, I did a similar thing to Rachel too, where I thought, what did I pick for my top 10 or my top games of the year, things like that. And I settled on a game that I've talked about for many years. If you know me, you might know, but my
Fallout
game
76?
of the decade is definitely Fallout 76. No, my game of the decade is Overwatch.
I was already ready to type
You were
that.
already typing it. You knew. But I feel like if I look at when you said this is what we wanted to do, game of the decade, it's the first game that came to mind. When we got to all the games that I had listed and the games that I thought I really enjoyed playing, it was always up there. And then even right now, literally today, when they announced that tomorrow starts the Year of the Rat special event, I was like, I can't wait to play that. I want to jump in and play. And I like that. And I like that the game evolves. There's a whole competitive scene. We have groups of friends that legit, we hang out playing that game. The game has gotten better. I feel like I'm skilled at it. We have the game on 3 consoles now. It's pretty great. And I feel like it kind of made I think the first article I wrote about that game on my blog was about how it fills the Team Fortress 2 team-based strategy hole in my gaming library, because I always had that. And then eventually I just kind of moved and I no longer had a setup to play TF2 on the PC. And so Overwatch filled that void, and I just thought it was a great, it's one of the pillar games that I would have where it's always there. So even though we haven't played for a few weeks, we might get in a kick where we play a week or two. A similar game would be Diablo 3. We've done similar stuff too, which is also by Blizzard. But yeah, just something about Overwatch. No matter what happens, I'm always excited for that game and just keep wanting to play it.
Yeah.
Even it's been it's almost been 4 years and I'm still excited to play.
You play on PC or?
I don't. I actually play on PS4, almost entirely on PS4. Laura will play on PS4 and she does PC as well. So we're all over. And I got it for Switch on at Christmas. And that's fun because I already have some skill in the game and everyone on Switch is level 1. So you just roll through them. And it's kind of mean, but also really, really fun at the same time.
Is it mean you put in your dues, Jason? Come on.
Exactly. That's
right.
There was this scene or this game, and I got played the game where this kid clearly doesn't know what he's doing, and I'm Roadhog, and I'm doing what you should be doing on the point and just obliterate them. And I showed Laura, and I'm like, this is great. And Laura's like, that kid doesn't know what he's doing, and you're being mean. And I'm like, no, I deserve this. This is for me putting in my time.
You're I'm teaching him. I'm teaching him how to play.
I'm showing him proper mechanics. This is good for all of us.
Also, we can all agree that Christmas time, the time between Christmas and New Year's, is the absolute best time to play competitive.
To own noobs. Oh yeah,
everything. Yeah.
For sure.
I went on an NHL 20 kick right after Christmas. Yeah, it was great.
Call of Duty here, same thing. Just
well, and your wife too, though. She cleans up pretty well in Call of Duty too.
Yeah. Oh man. Shout outs to Liza. Are you guys just remembering that the one time I will never forget it. I need to.
Is that what you put in our Christmas card?
Blowing up the TV. Oh my god, you guys have to. I need to clip that. I have an idea for a video. The one after the 4th one, it's a battle royale thing. I will clip that and put it at the end. Side note, I don't know if you saw today's YouTube video, but all of you are in it. Well, except Jason, but you're all in it in some form.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we left.
Nice.
I haven't seen it, so I gotta
haven't
watch
seen
it.
this either.
Yeah, I'm gonna go look at it.
I'm gonna go right now. See ya.
No. Yeah, so Jason's point, Overwatch has been a fantastic game. I bought it like the year it came out, but I didn't really get into it till like 2018, and I've gotten like really into it. I think the hero design is so cool. They have just this amazing iconic cast of characters that are instantly recognizable and relatable and people enjoy. And I think just like the mechanics and the idea that everyone's a hero with all these special abilities and you all have to work together in order to complete this goal. And it's not so much about the shooting that I really enjoy to it. And like playing as a different character almost feels like you're playing a completely different game.
Totally.
And it took me a really long time to realize that, because I picked the girl in the big mech who had infinite ammo, and I thought that there was no better way to play. And it wasn't until I started playing other characters like Mercy and like now Hanzo's mostly who I play, where I realized like, oh, there's so much more going on here, and exploring all of that's been fantastic.
Yep.
And so
we got to play again sometime.
Yeah, I'm streaming it this Sunday, 9 a.m. Eastern time. So if you want to wake up,
Bro, that's like 6 a.m.
yeah, if you want, doors open.
Maybe.
Where's your commitment, Jason? Come on.
My commitment starts at like noon.
So congratulations, Overwatch, game of the decade. Great choice. And one more, Matt, what is your game of the decade?
So my game of the decade is actually Jason kind of hinted at it. So my game of the decade is something that I keep going back to all the time. I think I've probably uninstalled and reinstalled this game on my PC probably 15 times by now.
Lego Star Wars.
Lego Star Wars. Yeah. the first trilogy.
Yeah.
Lego Harry Potter Year 1.
Yeah.
1 through 3. Yeah. No. So my game of the year is actually Skyrim, The Elder Scrolls.
Hey!
Skyrim.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So the reason I picked it is because I think it's, there's no question, it's one of the most influential action RPGs of the decade. And I think that a lot of the games that we've seen since then, I mean, that, you know, are arguably a little deeper and more robust and stuff, but they all kind of took their cue from Skyrim. You know, we wouldn't have games like, you know, The Witcher or like Red Dead. We wouldn't have games like you know, any of those other like Dragon Age, or, you know, they're not quite the same, but like that kind of action RPG style without Skyrim. And I think, you know, even Oblivion before that kind of laid the groundwork, but Skyrim really took it to the next level. And it's like infinitely replayable. There's tons of side quests. There's all different ways you can play it. And I mean, people are still like, there's an active like Reddit community for it, and people are still modding it, and, you know, lightsabers in the game and running around doing crazy stuff. And it's one of those things, like I said, that it's just, you know, it came out in 2011, so literally like almost at the turn of the decade, and it's still, I would say, just
relevant,
as popular as it was back then. And again, it's influenced a lot of the games that we like, and a lot of the games that I like and that I've played as well. But like I said, I keep going back to it, and yeah, definitely Skyrim's my game of the decade.
Yeah.
Here's an interesting. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, I think one of the great like telltale signs of a good game is when people like refer to your game as it's the Skyrim in space, or it's the Skyrim with robots. So like that's a great sign.
Yeah.
Also, interesting fact about Skyrim. Those of you who play it, you know, the Dark Brotherhood, obviously. You know, the creepy old guy in the Dark Brotherhood is voiced by none other than Jim Cummings, the voice of Winnie the Pooh.
Oh,
Great.
Didn't know if you knew that or
he
not.
sounded sinisterly cute.
Right? And what was he asking for honey for all the time? I don't get it.
Exactly. Oh man, yeah, such a good game. Like I for sure, when I looked at my list, I was like, it's got to be Overwatch. And then I actually had to go through and look at what games like top games of the decade, and that was on there. And I was like, oh shoot, like I got to think about this.
Yeah. But I mean, if you think about it, like 2011, and you think about all the things that game does, and the depth of the systems, and I mean, the menu, obviously the inventory system's garbage, but you can mod that and make it better. But just the fact, but the reason that the inventory system's garbage is because there's so much that you can get and collect, right? And you almost can't find things. You have so much stuff. But yeah, it's just, you know, it's huge. It's massive. It's a great game.
When it first came out, it essentially broke PS3s, so there was that going for it too. That's how big it was.
That's right.
Yeah. I don't think they ever fixed it either.
No, they just let it go. They're just like,
They're
wow,
just like, screw it.
Did you know that somebody actually named their child after one of the characters in Skyrim?
Oh yeah, Dovahkiin, right?
Dovahkiin, yeah. And then Bethesda sent them a merch box for their kid.
That's sad. He's gonna be ruined for the rest of his life.
Terrible.
Hey,
That
still
kid's
not
like
worth it.
9 years old now. Yeah.
Yeah. And he's like, yeah, I get it, Skyrim, guys. Okay, can we just go for recess?
But you
Yeah,
know what the
right,
worst part about it is the fact that the kid's name is Dovahkiin, and with any other video game, it would be done by now. Nobody would even remember it.
Yeah.
But Skyrim has staying power.
Exactly.
His friends are probably still playing it. Like, holy, like, wait a minute, our buddy's name is Dovahkiin. This dragon. They named a dragon after our buddy. You know, anyway.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, Skyrim, fantastic game. At the time, nothing looked as good as Skyrim. It was like not even close.
Mhm.
It looked like
No.
a next gen game on a current gen console, and it was getting so much praise. And I'd never played any Bethesda game up to that point, but because the buzz and hype around this game was so huge, I was like, Randy, we have to try this. And then we got it and just got completely absorbed by Skyrim, and we just lived there
Yeah.
So good.
for a few weeks. And again, just like Breath of the Wild, of like, I'm running this way today. And unlike Breath of the Wild, I never finished Skyrim. I played like 100 hours of that game. I don't know how it ended. Well, I watched Randy beat it. And he was like, yeah, you can beat the main story in like 10 hours, but who does that?
Yeah, if you really, who does that?
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, Randy says I put hundreds of hours into Skyrim.
Oh, 100%. I mean, the meme online is like that beginning scene where you're in the wagon and you're like,
where it just fades in.
and people are just always like, oh, here we go again.
There we go, yeah.
Simple for like, well, here we go again. I'm starting again. So
Did you guys also know voice actors? Super Mario voice is the original voice of Super Mario from the 90s is one of the voice actors in the game as well.
Oh.
Do you just have like the Skyrim Wikipedia page open or something?
No, because I was looking through things and I found interesting facts about like, the Witcher and Skyrim and all this stuff. So I wrote a few down just so I knew you guys
John
would
doing
talk
homework. I like
Nice.
it.
What's that, sorry?
I said John doing homework. I like it.
Right?
Oh,
Never a bad time to start. 37. Yeah. But yeah, Mario's voice from the 90s is the voice of the leader of the Greybeards.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Also, fun fact: the voice of Ash Ketchum in the Pokemon anime is also the voice of Manuela in Fire Emblem Three Houses.
hey, there you go.
There you go.
Which is really weird.
Yes, it is.
So, like, are we going to do our honorable mentions, or do we not have time for that?
If you guys want to stay on, I've also got to read the social media replies. So sure, share your honorable mentions.
I don't think we have to like talk about them all, but just like at least list them.
Sure.
Okay, so
you go. Yeah.
mine are,
How about we
so
each
I
take
had
turns
Skyrim,
throughout a
obviously.
game? Each one of you take it, like name a game, and then we'll just keep going.
Okay.
Okay, so my one of my honorable mentions was Last of Us.
Yeah,
Good game.
definitely a popular choice.
I'm gonna go quick. I'm gonna add in Mass Effect 2. That was one of my honorable mentions.
That one hurt to cut.
Before the
Yeah.
debacle of Mass Effect 3. Yeah.
I just Mass Effect 2.
Rachel, what was an honorable mention for you?
Octopath Traveler.
Oh, good game.
Hey, that's a good one.
Took mine.
How about you, Chris?
Arcade Spirits.
Oh yeah, deep cut.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I know that one meant a lot to you. So yeah, that's cool.
I'm going to go way back to the year of 2013.
Mhm.
The game I was most excited about that I can remember in the longest time, Grand Theft Auto 5.
Oh, that's
that's
such
a
a
big
good
one.
game.
Yeah,
Oh, man.
I don't remember a time when I was more excited for a new version of a game to come out after seeing all the, the videos and the reviews and everything. So
I think if I didn't get the technicality on Street Fighter, it probably would have been Pokemon Go for me.
Really?
It's still a game I play
That's a good
every
one.
day. Level 40. It's a whole entirely new type of gameplay, and it just like made me explore the real world in ways that I've never done before and meet weird random people of like, oh, here's the guy that I know works at the office down the street, and we meet at this one park when there's level 5 raids and we're both I mean, yeah.
There really wasn't a game like it.
No.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember I was getting my car fixed once at the mechanic, and there was this. I live in a place where there's like not a memorial. What do you call it? Like it's like a gazebo with a whole bunch of information about like historical sites on there and everything. And I remember I was sitting in the car dealership playing Pokemon Go, and that little gazebo across the street was I haven't played it in a while. What do you call it? Like a hot yeah, a Pokemon stop.
Yeah.
And then you could add the whatever it is to make it like a super one, and then everybody flocks to it. And so I dropped a whole bunch of stuff on it, and it lit up, and then there was like 6 or 7 like 12-year-old kids like come out of the bushes and just like hung out there for like 25 minutes. And I'm just laughing because I was literally watching them through the window. I'm like, this is a fantastic way to gather people. Yeah.
We took Eric's kid with Eric and Meg to the park one time, and we were sitting there having lunch, like a picnic kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden, like people's cars started pulling up, and people started getting out of their cars and like walking around on the grass, looking at their phones. And then Meg and Eric don't know anything about that stuff, so they're like, "What the heck's going on?" And I was like, "Oh my god, dude!" I'm like, "I think there's a raid going on here." And they're like, "What are you talking about?" And I'm like, "Hold on!" And I like pulled out my phone, I opened up Pokemon Go. I'm like, "Oh yeah, no, it's right there," and it was literally right there. And then all these cars kept coming. That was awesome.
Well, it's like the Jack Layton ferry terminal, the whole debacle.
I spent Steph and I spent okay. So there's a ferry terminal in Toronto that goes to Center Island, and it got this reputation as being like the hot spot to play Pokemon Go because there was a bunch of Pokestops in a very small space, and really good stuff would spawn there. And so there would just be hundreds of people every day just hanging out in front, like with no intentions of going on the boat. They were just standing there playing Pokemon. And like Steph and I spent multiple days, like just entire afternoons just playing Pokemon, sitting on the grass with everybody else.
Yeah. Wonderful. Well, the problem was that's fine, except people couldn't get off the ferry or get on the ferry.
Yeah, that was wild. I guess another honorable mention for me. Oh wait, I said one. Anyone else?
You can say another one if it's burning.
Nah, it's okay. That's okay.
I could throw out one. I got to give love to the 3DS. I had Animal Crossing New Leaf on my list.
Hey.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Played that game for like 2 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
I still play that game.
Yeah, right.
There's a new one coming up for the Switch, is there not?
March 2020.
That's it. Yeah.
Honorable mention for me, Celeste. Love that game so much. Still think about that soundtrack. I listen to that soundtrack all the time.
Nice.
Yeah.
A deeper cut here. Telltale's Slumma deeper cut. Telltale's The Walking Dead. Like I don't think it was ever going to be number one, but like
solid.
That game there was nothing quite like it at the time, and the story still haunts me.
Dude, it made a genre. Yeah. So like there you go.
Yeah. And the ending of part 5 of the first season of The Walking Dead was gut wrenching. Yeah. Like I still like I can't, it's awful. Yeah. Jet's crying. Like it's legit.
Poor Jet.
Man.
I know.
Hey Jet, are we gonna play Man of Medan at your house on stream?
Sorry, what did you call it?
Man of Medan.
Man of Medan. If there's that would be a cool one to do on the couch, or like we stream it like this. I have to figure out the sound logistics, but yeah, that could be one. Like we'll all congregate at like my house or someone's house, get some pizza, and then like play through it. That'd be fun.
Yeah, or even like it's only a few hours, but even like this, whatever works. Just I want to do that. Just like our Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. Oh well, yeah. Dungeons and Dragons. I think that's going to be the next major group thing. Like finally, I know we've been talking about it for months. There's just other things that came up, but I think the next time we'll gather, we'll finally do Jason's D&D 101. Teach me how to play and set up a stream for Dungeons and Dragons, and then we'll reconvene and play.
And you can use your miniature figures, Jay.
I know. I will. Don't worry.
All right. Before we close out the show, I promised people that online that I would read out their picks for Game of the Decade. So from Instagram, Anjum says, Overwatch, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.
Good pick.
Yeah, good choice.
Shenmue. That's interesting. That came back this decade. Like right.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Forgotten Anne. I've never heard of that one.
Never heard of it.
And
I may have heard of it, but I've forgotten.
And Phoenix Wright. I don't know in the spirit of it, but if he played it, that's fine. Phoenix Wright is great any decade. Let's be real here.
Yeah.
Crochet Narwhal says her games were Breath of the Wild and Stardew Valley.
Oh, Stardew Valley. Yeah, good one. Yeah,
good one too.
That was another one up there on my list.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Just Anime Weeb, I swear that's their name. Breath of the Wild, for sure, spent over 100 hours in that game.
Yeah.
MK Ibrar said, my pick is The Witcher 3, though he did have a shout out for Fortnite as well.
Nice.
And then on Twitter, let me see if I can pull this up here. I'm sorry I don't have a more a better way of pulling this up. Katie at Nintendo64, she said her pick of the decade was Witcher 3.
Nice.
Yeah, so lots of Witcher 3, lots of Breath of the Wild. Great picks for everybody.
Now you have someone agreeing with you.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised. This Forgotten Anne, sorry to get off topic, but I just looked it up quick. It actually looks quite good. It's right down in the vein of sort of some of the stuff we've talked about already. It's like it describes itself as a seamless cinematic adventure with meaningful storytelling and light puzzles. So you can go down different paths as well in this game, apparently, and unlock different abilities and areas and immerse yourself in soaring orchestral score as well. So yeah.
Wow. But the burning question, John.
Mhm.
Burning question.
Yes.
Would it have been your game of the decade had you played it?
From what I've read, I would say most of the time, 90% it would be my absolute favorite game of the decade if I'd have played it.
Yeah. Wow.
Better than Return of the Oberdeen had you have played it?
No, Oberdeen probably would have been if I'd have played it, probably would have been my game of the decade.
If I had played it, I would have said the same thing.
Yeah.
All right. I think we can finally close the book on the 2010s. We'll move on to the 2020s. How's it feel to be in this new decade? Good, bad, weird?
My back hurts.
I'm a little tired.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've also crossed out 2019 about 3 times already.
Yeah, right.
So
On the same paper.
yeah,
Dang it.
I don't learn. I'm not a fast learner.
All right, guys, let's get out. It's awesome. Side note, it's been awesome hanging out with you guys again. I know it's been way too long. Just Extra Life came up, and then schedules got weird with the holidays, and I was it was mostly me being super busy. But it's awesome to do this show with you guys, and glad that we are back in the new decade.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yay.
And look forward to doing some more stuff. D&D's on the schedule.
Gosh.
Getting a pandemic game night is on the list of stuff to do as well, on top of our standard boss rush things. So I'll keep you all posted. Plug time. I also want to get you, I know we talked about off stream too, but I'm going to try and get all of these fine folks into my YouTube videos in the near future as well. So youtube.com/inthirdperson. Anything else you guys want to plug? John, any shout outs, plugs?
No, I'm just looking forward to all the fun stuff we got coming up on this podcast, to be honest.
Great.
So.
Chris, Rachel?
Go ahead. Oh.
Speak.
No, not too much. I mean, we have our new Twitch schedule.
Schedule.
You tell me to speak, I can't do it.
It's been a long night.
Yes. Twitch.tv/xdoublejump. We are streaming Tuesday nights, Thursday mornings. Rachel will be actually live tomorrow morning. I think what time are you going live? Like
I don't know.
9:30ish? I don't know.
What are we playing tomorrow?
What am I playing? The Sims 4.
And then Friday we'll be back at some point in the afternoon with more Skyward Sword, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh,
Yep. Then we have
nice.
the blog, Double X Jump, Twitter, here,
All the things.
all the things.
All the things.
Awesome.
All the things. that's our yeah.
Jason?
Not too much. Hoping to stream a little bit more too. I
Yay.
did get I got the new Elgato for Christmas. So
Which-
no excuses.
HD60S? Or you got like the super high end one? Yeah, show
It
us.
says HD60S.
Okay, yes.
Yes.
That's the one I got as well, which I've been having assorted
That's the
issues
one.
with. And I've had multiple emails with Elgato yelling at them about it. But anyway, I hope it works out better for you than it has for me.
I'm
Sorry.
cautiously
Yeah.
optimistic now. There you go.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I can hold myself accountable because I told all y'all.
And Matt.
Yeah, nothing like too pressing coming up, but I did download Planet Coaster. Do you guys know what that is?
Yes.
Part of it.
Yeah, so I'm pretty much just going to quit my job and play that for a while.
Okay.
That sounds awesome.
You just build your own roller coasters and then you can ride them.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's funny.
And there's no limit to like what you can build. It's fantastic.
Is it VR?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe I guess. Yeah.
Maybe.
Man, just
but when it's first person on the roller coaster when you ride it.
Yeah.
But and there's no limitations. So you literally, like the first roller coaster I built, I didn't even know what I was doing. I tested it and it was like, oh no, nobody's gonna ride this coaster. It's way too scary. So then I just like rode it a couple times. I was like, this is great. And then you can actually take a piece off the roller coaster and just shoot your dudes right into the sky.
Yeah, you just go into the sky. Yeah.
Oh,
it's everything
so
a video game should be.
It is
100%.
exactly.
Yeah.
And then you watch the people and they're like walking towards your roller coaster and you're like, oh, this thing isn't even finished. Why are you lining up for it? Oh, that's good stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, it's good times. Anyway, yeah, but other than that, yeah, not too much.
Okay, cool. All right then. So, on behalf of the whole Boss Rush crew, we're gonna get out of here. Have a great night, everyone, and we'll see you all soon. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.